To give you guys a little perspective, 10 years ago, I was 10 years old. 5 years ago, I was 15. And I'm a mom. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a sit down just with me, and I'm going to, for the first time ever, really break down why I disappear from YouTube so often. The last time I posted a YouTube video was 4 weeks ago, and I think before that it was a couple weeks before I posted as well. It's been really hard for me to be consistent with YouTube, and I know I disappear from you guys a lot on here. Pretty present on Instagram because there's not a lot of editing to do there, but on YouTube I actually have to talk to you guys more. So for the first time, I'm going to actually break down where I go, why I go, and just what's really going on behind the scenes of my life as a single working mom. So as you guys know, I provide for Cartia through my YouTube channel right now. I am so thankful for that and so blessed that my job involves me being able to stay at home and watch and help Cartia grow and get to experience that growth, which is really cool. And then my second favorite part of the job is watching and experiencing you guys growing as well, because of all the lessons and the things that we share on this channel. A lot of you guys just take away from it, and I love that so much. So it makes this job really fulfilling. But there is an issue. I have been caught in a vicious cycle that has been making it really hard for me to post. And if you don't know what a vicious cycle is, the best way to explain it is that it is a cause and effect kind of situation in which one bad thing leads to another bad thing, but you can't get out of that bad thing without getting out of the other bad thing, and the next thing you notice, you're just in this tumbling downhill, and it's really hard to get out of a vicious cycle. So today I'm actually going to give you guys a lesson, if you will, on the vicious cycle of my life right now. Welcome to class. I'm very sorry for this art skill. Here's Cartia, and here's me. This is our life. Notice how I say our, because our lives are truly, in the most intimate way, interlocked. When she is feeling something, I am feeling it. And when I feel something, she feels it. And in life, that can be pretty hard on a family unit of 2, especially when the head of that unit is 20 years old. You guys know that I'm a huge advocate for not being a victim, and I am so proud of being a mom and all that good stuff, but nonetheless, it is hard. So when I started off my journey as a mom, I took it upon myself to feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. That means that I felt this incredible responsibility to do everything in my capacity to give Cartia the best life possible, to be the best mom possible, even if it meant putting my needs last, which to a degree is a good thing, but when unchecked, it isn't a good thing, because you can't quite literally put yourself last, even when you're a caretaker. The best visual I have to give you for this is that you are a cup, and as a parent, you feel like you have to pour into your kids all the time, pour into life, pour into work, pour into everything. Next thing you know, you're an empty cup, and you're just looking to get filled up somewhere, somehow, through something, whether it be in church, through other people, whatnot. Sometimes that's where unhealthy coping mechanisms can come into play, but long story short, you're just very burnt out and empty by the time that you're done filling the cup of everything that life has to drain from you. The best way to visualize a healthy way of doing this is that you are a cup, but instead you are tapped into a source that can pour into you and overflow. And in that overflow, Cartia or your kids or life, whatnot, gets to live in that overflow. So that means that you never truly get to be empty or burned out. You are overflowing with kindness and peace and love and joy, and you don't have to be pouring that out of yourself into your life, if that makes sense. Burning out is dangerous. I've seen it so many times on YouTube where a YouTuber burns out because there is just such a huge correlation with overworking yourself and pouring yourself into everything but yourself. So here's what my responsibilities as a mom look like. Of course, top priority is Cartia. Now, it's not just as simple as Cartia. It is huge. So first off, I have to provide for a child financially, and that is expensive and hard to do even when you're married, let alone being 20 years old and alone. Secondly, I have to provide for her physically. I am with her literally 98% of the time, and I am so happy and so blessed to be able to do that. I got to witness every single first thing she's ever done. I get to be a part of her learning habits and learning how the world works, and hopefully just her growing into a beautiful, strong young woman. And I'm so happy with that. But being with someone 98% of the time, especially someone that you are constantly giving to, is hard. So that is another part of the pie that I have to provide for her. Next is spiritually. This is huge, not to a lot of people, but to me it definitely is. I am constantly filling her up with prayers and God's love and teaching her how to pray herself. Yes, she is only 2 years old, but when she goes through tantrums, that is our newest thing. We pray a lot, and we have been praying every night since she was born. This is huge because as a mother, I'm going to fail her. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I need to make sure that she knows that she is a heavenly Father, a God who loves her so much and will be able to guide her in the times that I can't. So I think that's one of the most important tools that you can give your kids. And another way is mentally. I am the only human being on this planet that knows her the most. That's probably because I fill up all those other categories so much and I'm with her all the time, and we're just connected, and I'm so grateful for that. But mentally, since I know her the most, I need to be making sure that I am watching what she's developing, making sure she has good habits. If she is sad, to try to attack that sadness. Basically any mental hurdles that she's going through, it is my job to take care of them. That's an awful lot of ways to be taking care of a whole other person and yourself at 20 years old. To give you guys a little perspective, 10 years ago, I was 10 years old. 5 years ago, I was 15. And I'm a mom. It's shocking. It really is shocking. And a lot of people look at me and go, wow, that's so cool. Like, how do you do it? What an amazing thing regardless. And I just want to be flat out and say that it could not have been possible if it weren't for the village that I have surrounded myself with, for the amazing people, for the amazing God, for the amazing just resources that I've been tapping into since I found out I was pregnant. My goal has been since I was pregnant to just try to fill myself up as much as possible with all the wisdom I possibly can. In the Bible it says, if you ask for wisdom, God will give it to you, and I could not find that more to be true. And in the beginning, before my faith was this strong, I was asking older people, older moms, older parents. I actually didn't have a lot of actual people to ask, but I was diving into podcasts, books, you name it. I was just educating myself, even though I was stuck at home with nothing on government assistance. When you have that fire of love, you will find a way. And I did. I found a way. But when you are going through what my therapist calls chronic stress, it can cause a lot of issues because you never really catch a break, and you start developing these mechanisms, these coping mechanisms to deal with that constant stress. But you don't need to hold on to those mechanisms all the time unless you're going through stress all the time, which since she was born is the case. A huge thing I've developed is hypervigilance. It's just basically feeling like you're waiting for something to go wrong all the time, which I don't want to make it sound worse than it is because I feel like I handle it pretty well, but I'm constantly making sure that I'm accounting for everything in Cartia's life and in my own, but mostly hers, because I have a tendency to put her before myself, which isn't a bad thing, but like I said, you have to be taking care of yourself as a parent, and that's a huge lesson that I learned. Another huge thing that really encouraged me to start seeing someone professionally was the fact that I was experiencing depersonalization, which is where you are feeling so much stress that you quite literally zone out a bit. Like your brain is trying to protect itself from feeling so negatively that it kind of like checks you out for a second so that you just are in primal mode. I'm always taking care of Cartia. Like I've never had an issue with taking care of her. It's habit at this point. When I tie my shoes, I know that I have to tie hers next. Like I'm just used to that. But sometimes a week would go by and I'd be like, whoa, this week just went by so fast. And yes, that's normal, but when I just feel like I'm almost zoned out for a lot of it, like just always on to the next thing, it became a problem. I felt like I wasn't really living in the moment. And that was a huge thing that just encouraged me to start talking to someone professionally. I had so many good friends, but a professional person that has studied this, but it means I had to do more work to make sure that I was grounded and that I was truly living in the moment and being there for Cartia the way that she deserves to have me there, not just on flight or fight mode all the time. So yeah, I'm really proud of the progress that I've made and the amount of time that has passed and all of the time that you guys don't see on here, the chunks of time that go missing. Therapy isn't easy. Talking to someone about things you don't want to or that are hard isn't easy, but it makes you so strong. And I just have to applaud everyone that had the courage to go and get help and has the courage right now to go and get help. And I've just learned so much about myself and my tendencies and worked on them since doing this. But right now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my trigger. I hate that word. For some reason, I just really don't like that word, but this is what has been really affecting the cycle. I legally can't talk about it, you guys. I've kind of touched on it before, but that doesn't matter. I am regardless going to explain to you what's going on. So I tried my best to draw it out for you guys to give you a little visual aid. Here it goes. So my job is YouTube. You guys know that. It is the best job ever. It has allowed me to be here for Cartia, to be here for hundreds of thousands of you guys, and to just do something I genuinely enjoy doing while I'm at home with Cartia. It truly is the best of all worlds. But there is kind of a danger when you are a creative person and you create only for money. It wasn't always that way, but it started to become that way when life got hard. Next, we have Cartia, who the money I make from YouTube goes directly towards, which is awesome. So thankful. And then you have life. Life is ups, life is downs, it's fine. Life is manageable. With the right people and the right morals grounding you, life is life. And this cycle alone is hard enough, just being a mom, a dad, a provider, a protector, all these things, managing Cartia, just that alone is hard. But then when you slip in this super tough situation that was the source of my chronic stress, you get this vicious cycle. Let's start with super tough situation. When the super tough situation started going on, it made me not want to post videos on YouTube because it was just so hard. I was so stressed, and of course, Cartia falls before anything on the list of priorities, so to film, to edit while she's asleep, it just fell back on the priority list. But I needed that money. So money goes down. And when money goes down, life gets harder. I get more stressed. And then it makes me want to record less, and the next thing you know, we're just in this vicious cycle of I need money to deal with this super tough situation, but I don't want to record videos because I'm so stressed. So it's just these things that are affecting each other in a really negative way that one of them needs to be changed for the whole cycle to break. And that's where we come in today. Today I'm sitting down and I'm just being transparent. I'm not gonna make any more routine videos or any kind of video until I address this, till I get it off my chest and address burnout. Burnout is hard, it is silent, and especially for people like me who don't like to ask for help, ever. So it felt like for a while I was making too many videos complaining, if that makes sense. In my defense, all my complaining, dramatic type videos always had a positive outcome and a lesson to be learned. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So here are the things that have helped me most with burning out as a single mom and a YouTuber. First and foremost, God. If you're not religious, that's okay. I'm not here to preach to you today, but I cannot stress to you enough how much He has changed my life. Jesus just opening the gateway for me to be freed from all of this stress, all of this anxiety, feeling like I have to be a mom and a dad, I have to be everywhere at once, like I need 8 hands that I don't have. Oh, He freed me from that. I can't explain to you the feeling of freedom that I have received in my faith, in Christianity. So I just have to foremost thank God for that, and that has been a huge lifesaver to me. Nonetheless, church was the first step of this healing process. Churches offer free counseling and psychological anything, you name it, for addictions to single moms needing help. No matter what situation you're in, they can help you, and that's insane. It was through a discounted counseling program that I figured out the importance of going and just really got that guidance that I needed. Thing number 2 is really surrounding yourself with good people. I can't stress this enough. You are who you hang out with. You are who you surround yourself with. The next thing you know, the people that are in your life become like your inner dialogue. If they're negative, you start talking so negative to yourself. And if they're positive, you start being lifted up. And it's life-changing to truly change the people you surround yourself with. The third thing that really changed the game for me was forgiving myself. I had such a hard time with this. It ties back to my faith, but like I had such a hard time with forgiving myself for not being enough, because I'm not enough. I am only enough through the grace that I have been given. I had to forgive myself for almost reliving my childhood through my daughter. I felt so guilty about that. If anything, in my head, I was living so much into the future. I was just so worried about what's next. What is this going to mean to Kartia as she grows up, and just all these things? That is not your job to worry about those things. Worrying about tomorrow only takes the happiness out of today. Living in the past can make the right now seem depressing when it is not. There is so much joy in the right now. And that was just such a huge realization to me, and a much harder thing to actually start living. So yeah, that is my single mom burnout story and where I'm going from here. I am so thankful for you guys being a part of my journey the whole way. You constantly lift me up on Instagram. Every morning that I'm not on YouTube, I get messages about how are you, what's going on, how can I pray for you, how can I help you, and I cannot tell you how much that means to me. You guys are all YouTubers say this, but you guys are literally the best. You are the best, and I hope that you're treating yourselves like the way you treat me. Because wow. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you know any single parents in your life, reach out to them, help them, pray for them, pray with them, teach them something, anything. It's hard. And if you yourself are going through a vicious cycle or feeling burnt out, please talk to someone, a professional, or at least someone you trust. It will really change your life. There is so much purpose to your life. There is so much beauty that you almost lose vision to when you are going through such hard things. So don't lose that vision. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in our next one.